Is your brand leaving money on the table? If your visual story isn't crystal clear, then the answer is yes. We live in a visually driven world, and every misaligned color, shape, or font chips away at trust, authority, and revenue. Today, we're moving past decoration into design-driven strategy, where every pixel has a purpose and every palette propels your brand forward. Think about the brands you know at a glance, such as the bitten apple, the swoosh, or the golden arches. That instant recognition isn't accidental. It's the result of multidisciplinary design that fuses creativity, strategy, and data for a unified visual identity. Applied correctly, this approach can drive revenue increases of up to 23% for measurable impact. To unlock it, you must acknowledge that design can be much more than art when you harness it for tactical communication. Today, I'll define the core principles that let you speak design as a strategic language. Welcome to the Creative Convergence podcast. I'm your host, Leigh N. Eldred, a multidisciplinary creative strategist that advances innovative solutions through artistic design and strategic communication. My versatile expertise spans product design, public relations, and digital communication. In this episode, I'll explore a 3-pillar design framework for a transformational brand experience. First is the science of data-driven function and how to leverage analytics, user testing, and heat maps to refine every purposeful interaction. Then I'll discuss the art of cohesive brand narratives and how to apply your color palette, typography, and imagery for integrated campaigns that tell an unforgettable story. Finally, I'll cover inclusive design and how embedding accessibility practices with thoughtful representation into visual systems can help your brand genuinely connect with every audience. By the end of our conversation, you'll walk away with evidence-based strategies to fuse tactics and creativity into a cohesive visual language that drives measurable results. Let's get started. Design is as much a choice as it is an art. When aesthetic choices overshadow functionality, especially in user experience design, you may inadvertently create Norman doors, which are interface obstacles that confuse users, breed distrust, and stunt conversions. 91% of unsatisfied customers will leave a website without ever giving negative feedback. Even more striking is the fact that every dollar invested in UX design delivers a 9,900% return on investment by eliminating friction to effectively guide user interactions. Now that we've qualified the payoff of balancing form and function, you should really understand the science of data-driven design. Analytics, usability testing, and heat maps can become your tactical toolkit for crafting seamless, purpose-driven experiences. Your first priority is fusing aesthetics with seamless usability. Begin with usability testing to uncover where users stumble. A quick test asks another set of eyes to glance at your homepage for just 5 seconds, then describe what they remember. This rapid exercise reveals whether your core message lands or gets lost in decorative trappings. Next, run Think Aloud sessions where you'll invite a handful of representative users to narrate each click, scroll, and hesitation as they navigate your site. Record their commentary to pinpoint confusing labels, hidden menus, or visuals that distract rather than guide. These diagnostic phase insights are your blueprint for simplification. After having diagnosed friction points, you may begin to streamline navigation and sharpen calls to action. Group-related content under clear and intuitive headings while limiting primary menus. Use card sorting exercises or tree testing tools to validate that your hierarchy matches real-world mental models. Every digital button must promise immediate value. Swap vague labels like submit for action-oriented labels such as download your guide or start my free trial. Style these CTAs with high contrast colors and generous padding to guide eyes and click toward your critical conversion goals. Next, ground every design decision in hard data. Set up your analytics platform to configure conversion funnels that mirror user journeys, as in a homepage that directs to a product page, then to a sign-up, and finally, confirmation. Monitor key metrics like bounce rate, session duration, and drop-off points at each final step. When you spot an underperforming page, try to untangle the insights from those numbers. Is the bounce rate unusually high? Are users abandoning their virtual carts? This quantitative layer will tell you exactly which pages need visual or structural adjustments. Finally, incorporate testing to refine your hypothesis. Deploy heat mapping software to visualize where users click, hover, and scroll. For example, a heat map might reveal that a promising Learn More CTA sits below the fold, resulting in a 60% loss of potential clicks. Redesign the page according to your insight by moving the CTA above the fold, switching out an abstract hero image for a customer-centric photo, or trying a brighter accent color. Then run an A/B test against the original for a statistically significant period, typically for 2 weeks or until you reach at least 1,000 visitors per variation. Compare conversion rates, retention metrics, and user feedback to select the next design. By repeatedly cycling through testing, analysis, and iteration, you build a tactical toolkit that ensures every interaction is purposeful. This research-driven approach to design eliminates user frustration while systematically guiding every user toward the next meaningful action, turning aesthetic choices into measurable business results. Optimizing function with data cultivates trust, which is the bedrock of every brand. But that functionality must be accompanied by visuals that tell an emotionally engaging story. Research demonstrates that cohesive visual narratives will boost brand recognition. In fact, 68% of companies attributed 10 to 20% of their revenue growth to consistent branding. Now that you grasp the importance of imparting compelling brand stories, your next step is about ensuring that every pixel expresses your unique brand vision as one unforgettable message. Once functionality is strong, your brand narrative may come alive through consistent visual language. Begin by selecting a strategic color palette informed by psychology. For example, deep blues and cool grays signal stability and professionalism. An ideal for finance or business-to-business brands, while vibrant greens and earthy tones evoke growth and sustainability for ecologically minded companies. Define the primary and accent hues, then deploy them across every communication channel, like your website hero image, social feeds, email headers, and even physical signage. Deliberately replicating a user experience will instantly evoke emotional recognition. Consider refining typography to define your brand voice. A classic serif font can communicate heritage and authority to lend weight to long-standing institutions. Conversely, a clean sans serif suggests accessibility and modernity, which could be perfect for startups or digital services. Pair one heading font with a complementary body font and lock in hierarchy rules like H1, H2, body copy, and caption sizes so that every asset reads as if it's part of the same conversation. Creating a typographic rhythm reinforces credibility through consistency every time someone scans your content. With color and type in harmony, build integrated campaigns that stitch your narrative across touchpoints. Develop a toolkit of templates that unify social media graphics, press release headers, event signage, and email banners featuring a recurring visual motif or illustration style. Anchor each element to a core brand value such as innovation, trust, or community. Then weave in those key messaging pillars. Every time your audience encounters those shapes, patterns, or illustrations on a platform, they will immediately connect to your brand promise. Next, measure sentiment to ensure that your narrative resonates with your target audience. Deploy brief post-campaign surveys or net promoter score polls to gauge clarity, emotional resonance, and likelihood of recommendation. Supplement with social listening tools to monitor real-time feedback. If skepticism should arise, then reevaluate visuals. Humanize the content by swapping stock photos for authentic customer portraits, share real testimonials, and feature user-generated content. The adjustments can rebuild trust and deepen emotional bonds between your brand and its community. I've established the need for data-driven function and a cohesive narrative, but exceptional design demands inclusivity. Over 1 billion people worldwide live with a disability, yet the WebAIM Million Report found over 50 accessibility barriers that notably impact usability across 1 million homepages analyzed. Now that you know the scale of exclusion and the gravity of its impact, it's time to ethically expand your brand story to ensure that every voice feels seen, heard, and valued. Inclusive design should be more than a compliance checkbox to please stakeholders. It's an ethical and strategic imperative that unlocks new audiences and forges deeper loyalty. Conduct a comprehensive accessibility audit against the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. These recommendations were developed by the World Wide Web Consortium to ensure web content is accessible to people with visual, auditory, and cognitive disabilities. Use accessibility checking tools like the WebAIM Contrast Checker to verify that text and background color combinations meet AA or AAA ratios. Review your markup to ensure all images, charts, and icons include meaningful alternative text for screen readers to accurately convey contextual information to visually impaired users. Next, refine your user interface structure for clarity and flexibility. Implement a logical heading hierarchy from H1 through H4 so assistive technologies can navigate the content efficiently. Offer adjustable text sizes and line height controls to accommodate users with low vision or cognitive impairments. Group related modules into visually distinct sections that utilize clear landmarks, with generous white space to reduce cognitive load while guiding visitors through your narrative. Always use inclusive language and choose diverse representation to reflect the full spectrum of your audience. Emphasize humanity over labels, with copywriting that features person-first terms, such as a person with arthritis instead of an arthritic person. Audit your image library to deliberately represent diverse ages, genders, ethnicities, body types, and abilities. When creating custom illustrations, depict accessibility aids like canes or wheelchairs, and include service animals to celebrate underrepresented groups. Finally, establish a continuous feedback loop by engaging with communities focused on disabilities for reviews on wireframes, prototypes, and shipped products. Always ask open-ended questions like, what feels confusing here? Or who is missing from these visuals? Document all insights, iterate swiftly, and retest the designs until you have eliminated all reported pain points. Inclusive design is a brand superpower by turning accessibility into authentic connections that expand reach to every corner of the market. By embedding empathy at every stage, you move beyond compliance to spark genuine innovation and cultivate brand loyalty across all communities. Before we close, consider that organizations which embed strategic design across operations outperformed industry benchmarked revenue growth by 2-to-1, substantially faster than competitors. Now that you understand how data-driven UX design builds trust, cohesive visuals amplify recognition, and inclusive design expands your reach, it's time to fuse these pillars into a unified framework that powers measurable growth. Thank you for joining me in this discussion on design storytelling. I've covered 3 essential pillars today. First, the science of data-driven function, where 5-second tests, heat maps, and A/B experiments guide every interaction. Then, the art of cohesive narrative, where strategic palettes, typography, and integrated campaigns speak in unison. Finally, the ethical strategy of inclusive design, where WCAG audits, person-first language, and diverse representation open your brand story to everyone. These aren't isolated tactics, but interlocking steps in a continuous loop of iteration where true growth resides. I believe in the power of cross-functional collaboration. When strategists, designers, and analysts unite around a shared narrative, brands can shape experiences that people trust and champion. Multidisciplinary design is your blueprint for complex problem solving by merging data-driven user experience design with cohesive visual storytelling and inclusive practices. Uniting creativity with strategy, art with science, and empathy with evidence can direct your brand's success with clarity, consistency, and conscience for measurable impact. I can't wait to see how you apply these principles. Share your wins, questions, and even your struggles by tagging me on LinkedIn. If you enjoyed today's discussion, subscribe, share, and join the Creative Convergence podcast and newsletter for communication and design professionals seeking a true multidisciplinary edge. I share tactical strategies to build innovative, cross-platform solutions by fusing cohesive strategic messaging with artistic visual design, so that viewers may learn how to create emotionally engaging experiences to achieve measurable business growth. Until next time, keep using strategy and creativity into a cohesive visual narrative that engages your audience and drives measurable results. Thanks for listening.